crunch, bring it back, single leg swing. Let me teach you how to wrestle. Okay. Let me teach you how to wrestle.
Mindset Monday is brought to you by our official sponsors, Eat Clean, bro. Make sure you order today, get them delivered right to your house, check them out, and make sure you put in your discount code, MINDSET.
All right, Coach Smith, we're live. Long overdue. Great seeing you.
Great to see you.
So you just told me that you came in 7 a.m. from the match last night?
Yeah, we finished up we had a duel at Keegan O'Toole's high school up in Wisconsin, which is about an 8-hour drive, so by bus. So we pulled in at 7 this morning, but it was the sleeper bus, so we got to sleep. So it wasn't too bad. You wake up, you're in Columbia. Here I am, working, still going, 9 a.m. with you.
You're a machine, Coach. Certainly leading by example.
Yeah, trying to.
Oh, yeah. Well, you have for a while. And, one of the things that I always think about with you, I know I was very involved being in NWCA and everything, just really looking at the sport in a very holistic way, mind, body, the whole bit, and how important that is. So I guess talk about that a little bit yourself, how you've come to integrate everything into the training and how it's all important. It's not just one dimensional.
Yeah, I think first it starts with the relationship you have with your athletes and your coaches. So it starts their junior year in high school, and you're really getting to know these kids and know that they're going to fit in with your culture. I mean, our culture is called Tiger Style, and it's just a lifestyle that we ask the guys to live, or we expect them. It's that standard we expect them to live. So we're not just going out and finding a kid that can just wrestle really well. That's a part of it, but they have to fit our culture. So it's the relationship we have with them, their families. And then it's, from there, it's getting them in. And I think the biggest thing, when they come from high school to college is dealing with being on their own, dealing with adversity when they're on their own because their parents aren't there, and getting them to grow from that and having that growth mentality that you may struggle in the classroom, you may struggle on the mat, but how are you going to deal with it? And wrestling's hard, as you know. It's very hard, but it's how you respond to the hard. And so we're every Monday we have Mental Mondays. So I've sat through some of your sessions, and I've learned from a lot of different things. I read a lot of books, and I think it's really important to just learn how to think through things and help people. And so my guys read a lot of books. And then we work in Mental Mondays. It'll be whatever the topic is, whether it's motivation, whether it's dealing with adversity, whether it's, preparing for a tournament. What is my mindset and preparation for? We go through different things every week. And we even bring in, there's a sports psychologist who was a successful high school coach and teacher at the local high school, and he's written 3 or 4 books. He comes in and meets with my coaching staff every Monday or every other Monday and coaches the coaches to coach the athletes on the mental side. And I think that's really important. I learned that from a guy named Dr. Rick McGuire, who started the positive coaches program at Mizzou. And if you read up on him, he was the USA track and field sports psychologist. The master's program still exists today at Mizzou, where it's called positive coaching. And he was a mentor to me. I sat through his classes, and he really helped me. He was the track and field coach, but I used to laugh at him my early years of coaching because the track team would be like holding hands and singing Kumbaya. I used to joke to him, but they were not afraid to open up and talk about things. And I realized, he's like, Coach, your sport may be violent or, rough and tough, but they still have to have this family, and they still have to have this way of thinking. And he really guided me through that. So he taught me how to coach my coaches to coach the kids, and set up programs for me years ago. And he actually Coach McGuire wrote the foreword to my book, which was exciting because, he really broke it down and how we developed a relationship. So I mean, that's a lot of stuff I'm throwing at you, but
I love
it's
it.
just I understand the importance, and I really enjoy what you guys do and helping kids realize, because it's so many times that I realize in my coaching stints, like right now, we're struggling. We're a young team. We have some experienced guys with Keegan, but the young guys are really struggling some right now with adversity and how we're going to get through it. And I know we are. They're definitely bought in, and but it's not fun to lose. And some of these guys are losing and dealing with, and they've never. And you get kids that come out of high school and they're four-time state champs and multiple success. How are they going to deal with this? And so we're dealing with it and trying to grow. The great thing is they do come in the wrestling room and want to get better in the mental Mondays and want to stay after and do one mores. And so this is the challenge. I think I texted my wife a week ago after we had lost a tough duel. And I said, this team is testing me, but it's the fun part of it, that it can't always be, you wish it was easy, but winning is hard. And I've really talked to coaches about that. Winning is hard. You have to do so many small things right.
Right. And it's the hard that makes it great. Right.
Yes.
If it were easy, everyone would do it. How do you get the kids and coaching staff? I guess coaching staff a little bit easier, but the kids, the young men really. How do we get them bought in? Because I know the mentality is still a lot of times as well. I don't need mindset is for some people, but not for everyone. That's what some people will say. Or other people say, well, just work harder, or just grind it out. Put in more time. Like if you just shoot 1,000 single legs a day, and then then you have all the technique. You're good. How do you blast through that mentality? Because of course, the hard work's important. We need to put the
Yes, hard work is definitely important, but how you're working too. And so I think track and field. I had a son who my youngest ran cross country, and track and field is interesting because they can go to meets and not win the meet, but they view it on what their time is, and they'll be like, "Man, I'm getting better." And yet I would be like, "You took 20th. What are you talking about?" And the next meet they could take 10th, but they're like, "Yeah, I didn't have a good time. It was a slower pace." And but they can view it really simple, where in wrestling it's not as easy. Of course, you want to win on the mat, but are you getting better? I had a kid lose last night, two top 10, 15 kids going at it. He improved. And I talked to him about that. I said, you wrestled more aggressive, you were attacking, we just didn't get the takedown. But we can work with that you're giving effort, and there's things that you can find. But it starts their junior year when we recruit them. We send them about 30 graphics with personal notes, and then we tell the story of that graphic on whether it's believe and what's the importance of believe, and then how we compete. And there's a lot of words that we send them with a picture and just explaining the culture to them. And I'm hoping that they're going to be like, man, coach. And I try to end I'm probably giving too much away, but I try to end every phone call where I would say, I need you to hit me with a question. And I'm forcing them to ask me a question. So they're just not listening to me. I want them to talk. And it becomes fun. The kids that really buy into it are like, hey, coach, tell me about when you were younger. Or coach, tell me about what was your most exciting coaching, success, or whatever it may be. They want to know about Coach Smith, and we're getting to know each other. And that relationship grows. They start to understand Tiger Style through this process of getting mail and talks and stories. And then when they get in, we start right away with the Mental Mondays in the summer. It's going through the summer. They keep journals. So journaling is very important. We're, writing things down. And it's not just the once a week. I see my guys with their journals, and they'll be doing it after practice, writing things down, what they learned. They have individual practices with the drills, writing down what's working. Every time we get back from a tournament, open up your journals, write what went well, what could you do better? And I always say it's a process that by the time we hit March, those journals are going to be filled with a lot of information. And you should be improving because you're working at it and you're writing it down. And then I give them books to read. We do breathing techniques. I mean, it's nonstop. That I really want my guys to walk away The cool thing was last night I got a text from John Andrews, and he had just finished the book. John wrestled for me in the mid 2000s, so like 4 to 7 or sometime in there, or 6 to 9 or whatever it was. I don't even know the exact years, but he's a neurosurgeon now.
Ah,
So he didn't come to school to be a neurosurgeon. He didn't even come to school to go medicine. He was a English and art student at Mizzou. And after he graduated, he goes to Europe and he's at Oktoberfest for the month and drinking beers and all this, and said, "Coach, I know I've graduated. I want to come back and I got to ask you some life stories." So John comes back and the first thing he says, "I want to be a doctor." And I'm thinking, don't ruin it. Don't say it, because he was an English and art major. I was going to say, but you can't be, because you didn't take classes. So instead of that, I took a deep breath and I'm like, all right, let's deal with this the right way. I go, "John, have you had enough science classes?" He goes, "No, but I've looked it up. I got to work really hard." He spent about a year and a half getting some classes, then got accepted in a program to get accepted into a medical program at
wow.
Columbia University. Took
Wow.
out like hundreds of $1,000s of loans, and finally finishes that 2 year program at Columbia. Then he starts sending me, "Hey, I need references. I got to go. I want to get into these med schools." And I'm looking at him, and I coached at Cornell, so I understand the Ivy Leagues. And I'm looking at the schools, and he's got Yale, he's got all these. And I'm like, "Are you sure you can get in these?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm killing it at Columbia. I'm the top up and coming student." And so he gets into Yale Medical School, and now he's a neurosurgeon. And last night he had finished the book, because he wrote a story for me in my book, and just about how choosing the lifestyle of Tiger Style helped him achieve all these things, and the mindset and doing these things, that he wasn't overwhelmed when he had to say it's going to take 2 years just to get to medical school. And he bought into it and he did it. And last night he sent me this email when I was down. You're a little depressed. We just got beat in a duel. And he's like, "Coach, the lifestyle we lived with Tiger Style really taught me, and it's why I'm the successful neurosurgeon in one of the top hospitals now. And I just want to thank you for that, and thank you for Tiger Style." So it was like, man, it reminds me of why I coach.
Hi.
And that's the other thing, that finding your identity is so important. And that's what I teach kids, that, when you figure out what your identity is, and you're not trying to do it for your mom or dad, not trying to do it for some, what you want to do in life. I want to be successful in wrestling because I enjoy it. I love it. I want to grow at it. It's not the success. I want to have success, but it's not all about the success. It's about being around teammates, learning to grow. And that's what John figured out, because he was never an All-American, wasn't even really a starter that often. But now that's just one of the stories that's in my book. And just to get that email last night at like 11 o'clock at night was awesome.
It was the right thing to hear at the right time. Oh man,
Yeah.
that's why you do it, right? I love that stuff, because of course we all want to win on the mat. We're all super competitive, but having that impact on the kid at a larger scale, that now it's impacting his life. And to think about, it's just mind blowing. Like, we know how many seeds are in an apple, but we don't know how many apples are in a seed. So what he does with that, beyond the neurosurgery, it's how that's going to affect his children, his future children, his grandchildren, the people around him, everyone he comes into contact with, that ripple effect. It's just real exciting, and it's great to zoom out a little bit and to see that, especially when we kind of like get stuck thinking about, like, today's win or that day. It zooms it right out.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Coach.
Yeah. Because my book title, they not made me, but they highly recommended it be Tiger Style, the 8 steps to create a winning culture. And I didn't want it to be that. I wanted it to be, "Coach, I'm living it." Because like last night, John said, "Coach, I'm living it. And here's what I'm doing." And Tiger Style's help. And that's our expression. Are you living it? Which is, are you living Tiger Style? And I always tell the guys when I recruit them, it's not a 5-year commitment. It's a lifetime, that we're going to be living Tiger Style forever. And when you're a good father and a good husband and a good person in the community, and you're crushing it in your career, you're going to call me and you're going to say, Coach, I'm living it. That's what I wanted it to be. And I was kind of bummed they talked me out of it, but that's how I end all my, any communication with one of my former guys or coaches. Are you still living it? Keep living it.
That's awesome, and so important for all of us to remind ourselves. Now, I hope everyone goes out and gets the book. We're certainly going to get copies. So that's why I wanted to have you on as quickly as we could to talk about the book. I saw it just came out. I love the back of it. It says, "Believe, compete, one more, expect to win, Tiger style." It's going up the pyramid. So talk about, you said a little bit about belief. Talk about those other tiers. Is that how that goes?
Yeah, I mean, everything starts with a belief. What's between your ears. It's going to be, you get this thought that, if a kid, I've read all your books, and, a kid wants to be a state champ. That's the beginning of the process. Or I want to achieve straight A's. That's the beginning of the process. I have this idea. I want to do it. But then, that's the belief part. But then you have to also surround yourself with people that are going to help you be successful. I think that's an important thing that.
The time is now to take your mindset to the next level with Wrestling Mindset. Make sure you go to our website, wrestlingmindset.com, and sign up for your free trial session today. Don't wait any longer. You want the mental edge right now. When you sign up for the free trial session, you're also going to get a copy of our free ebook, Building the Predator Mindset. This book has helped thousands of people build confidence, relax under pressure, get motivated, and build mental toughness in wrestling, school, and life. Make sure you sign up for your free trial session today.
It's overlooked. And we always talk about who's in your foxhole with you. Are good people with you and going to support you and protect you and help you and call you out, and say, hey, did you get that run in today? Or did you do that drill today? And so are the right people around you? And that's the belief part. But then you got to take it to compete. And if you want to be great at something, you got to compete at it every day. And I called a couple of my guys nerds the other day in a joking way, because they're talking about all these nutritional things and different words, and they've really gotten into nutrition, and they're doing their weight unbelievable, and how they're training and working out and what they're eating. And I said, you guys are like two little nerds together right now. I love it in a positive way that you figured it out. You're third and fourth year guys, but you see kids come in and they're eating candies and junk and letting their weight blow up. And these guys are doing it perfect. And I said, it's going to pay off. I said, even if you don't become the national champ from it, and I don't say this to them, but they're going to down the road 5-10 years from now have great nutrition, because they've learned that through our sport and they're living it right. But that's the competing part about it, that I want my guys to compete in everything. Ben Askren told me one day, I said, Ben, you're going to be a 4-time academic All-American. I know you don't even really care about school. When I say that, he went and did psychology, and now he just wrote a book on sports psychology. But he's like, Coach, if you're going to make me go to class, and that's one of our only team rules, is live Tiger style and go to every class. And so he said, if you're going to make me go to every class, I'm going to commit to it and get A's in it. If I'm going to be there, I'm going to do it right. And I said, that's Tiger style mentality. If you're going to do it right. And my dad taught me that. So that's the competition part. Compete in everything you do in life. I got a kid, Aiden Sinclair, on the team right now as a true freshman. He visits a children's hospital every Monday without being told, doesn't get pictures taken, just enjoys it. Goes up to our youth club and goes Monday and Wednesday and doesn't even get paid. He could be getting paid for it, but he's just volunteering. And he does it, and he's the most favorite counselor up there, and there's 150 kids. And so he's doing these things, and because he loves the sport, he loves giving back to others. And then I can't get him out of the wrestling room, but that's competing at life. He found something he loves to do. He enjoys giving back, and it makes him a happy person. And when you're around him, you're happy. He's competing, and that's, you got to surround yourself with people that are going to compete at everything they do. And then it's the one more. A one more is the third level of Tiger style, which is so important. For me, it's a Christian value that you're helping others. I learned that from going to Catholic schools, that you should be doing things for others, because when you do things for others, it makes not, it makes you feel good, which isn't the most important, but you help that person, then they go home and they're happy about things. It's amazing just the effect it has. Like it trickles down to so many other people. And so when we talk about doing one mores, helping a teammate, he had a bad day, stay after practice, doing one mores, doing that extra rep, all that, but staying after and doing an extra tutoring if you're struggling in math, going to the hospital to visit kids, you're going to be better for it.